Hello and welcome to Target IELTS training. In this video, we are going to cover how to match headings in the IELTS reading test. Now, when it comes to the IELTS exam, please understand that we usually do not have time to read every single word of the passage, simply because we are under immense time pressure to finish the test in 60 minutes, find out the answers to 40 questions, and write them down. We have to be really careful with time. Now, what is a heading? A heading is usually, not all the time, the very first sentence of a paragraph. It is also called the topic sentence, and it really outlines the main purpose of the paragraph. So when we are in the exam, if you want to try to find the headings, it's best if we follow a particular search order. When searching for headings, simply read the first sentence of the paragraph, then read the second sentence of the paragraph, and take a shot at the heading. Now, usually, about 80 to 90% of the time, this technique should work. We should be able to find a heading simply by reading those two sentences. In certain cases, we may not be as lucky. So in that case, we will have to read the entire paragraph. Let's test our understanding. Let's read a passage on robots at work. And let's see how to match headings. So we have a paragraph from this passage on robots at work, and we have the headings on the left-hand side. Let's read the first line. It says, the newspaper production process has come a long way from the old days when the paper was written, edited, typeset, and ultimately printed in one building with the journalists working on the upper floors and the printing presses going on the ground floor. It does not make a lot of sense. I will go back and read it a second time. It says that the newspaper production process has come a long way from the old days when the paper was written, edited, typeset, and ultimately printed in one building with the journalists working on the upper floors and the printing presses going on the ground floor. Come to think of it, it does talk about newspaper production process and how it has changed over time. Now what we are going to do is to compare this line with the headings one by one. Could it be robots working together? No. The line does not talk anything about robots. Preparing LGVs for takeover? I don't even know what LGVs are and what takeover means. It's definitely not this one. Could it be looking ahead? No. LGV's main functions? Doesn't make sense. Split location for newspaper production. This one actually does ring a bell because we did read something about the newspaper production process and how it's actually created at various locations. So this does seem like a good bet. But let's continue to read. Could it be newspapers superseded by technology? No. Getting the newspaper to the printing center? No. Controlling the robots? No. Beware of robots? No. So come to think of it, the only one which is applicable is option number 5. Let's read the second paragraph. It says that once the finished newspaper has been created for the next morning's edition, all the pages are transmitted electronically from the pre-press center to the printing center. The talk about system of transmission is an update on the sophisticated page facsimile system already in use in many other newspapers. First line again, once the finished newspaper has been created for the next morning's edition, all the pages are transmitted electronically from the pre-press center to the printing center. Let's compare it with the headings. Now I will read my headings one by one. Could it be robots working together? Preparing LGVs? Looking ahead? Main functions? Split location? Superseded by technology? Does not talk anything about newspaper superseded by technology. Could it be getting the newspaper to the printing center? We did talk about transmission from the pre-press center to the printing center, so this looks like a feasible bet. Could it be control of the robots? Beware of robots? No. In this case, it's really evident that option 7 is the correct heading for this paragraph. The next paragraph, we have a procession of automated vehicles is busy at the new printing center where the Sydney Morning Herald Sun is printed each day. With lights flashing and warning horns honking, the robots, to give them their correct name, the LGVs or laser guided vehicles, look for all the world like enthusiastic machines from a science fiction movie as they move on their own random paths around the plant, busily getting on with their jobs. Talks about procession of automated vehicles. They are busy at the Sydney Morning Herald Sun. Lights are flashing, warning horns honking. Robots look for all signs like enthusiastic machines. They follow their own random paths, busily when they are going about their jobs. The robots working together. It does talk about robots, but it does not talk about working together. I'll just draw a question mark next to it. Preparing LGVs for takeover. Looking ahead, that's a definite no. LGV's main functions. Does not talk about the principal task. Split location. Newspaper superseded. Getting the newspaper to the printing center. Controlling the robots. Beware of the robots. Now I do know that it does talk about robots. So really we have got 3 different types of headings which do apply. I'm still not sure. So in this case, we'll have to really fall back and read the entire paragraph. So really quickly, it says the procession of vehicles is busy at the Sydney Morning Herald Sun. Lights are flashing, warning horns honking. Robots look for all the world like enthusiastic machines from a science fiction movie. Automation of this kind is now standard in all modern newspaper plants. Robots can detect unauthorized personnel and alert security staff immediately if they find an intruder. Not surprisingly, tall tales are already being told about the machines starting to take on personalities of their own. Now, does it talk about working together? It does not talk about robots working together at any stage. It does talk about how they are working amongst themselves. They look for they're very busy about their own paths, and if they find an intruder, they can alert. It's definitely not robots working together. Could it be control of the robots? Well, I did not read anything about controlling the robots and how robots can be moved. So it looks like in this case, I will really go with option number 9. Beware of robots. Because others are a definite no, the ones with the crosses behind them, and then the ones with the question mark were relevant, but the best option was beware of robots. Paragraph D, we have the question. The question newspaper workers must now ask, however, is how long will it be before the robots are writing the newspapers as well as running the printing center, churning out the latest edition every morning? Could be robots working together, preparing LGVs, looking ahead. It does talk about the future, that the newspaper workers are asking themselves that how long will it be before they are writing newspapers for us as well. So it may just be what we are forecasting in the future. Could be main functions, split location, newspaper superseded, newspaper printing center, control of the robots, nothing to do with robots, beware of robots. In this case, we are definitely sure that it's going to be option number 3. So really, that is all that there is to it when it comes to matching headings. Please remember the rule. Make sure that you read the first line and the second line if necessary from the paragraph. Then it's very important to read and go through every single option. Consider the ones which are relevant and simply ignore the ones which are not. If you're not sure, in that case, read the entire paragraph. I hope you can remember this, and thank you for watching.